it's all the same. You know, like the reason why Jay-Z is killing the game in business is like selling tickets, selling drugs, concerts, promotions. Like a lot of my business comes from like college, you know, doing step shows and parties. You know what I'm saying? It's the same mechanism.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to create a product, market and distribute it.
Correct.
And so you were early on in high school doing that. So give a little bit of background about that and what you learned from that and how you apply it to business today, if at all.
You know, I just graduated. Matter of fact, I threw a birthday party at my partner's house that I was like,
legendary.
Was it?
I saw you reaching for the words.
Bro. Oh man. I had no idea. Again, put out a little bit of a flyer, put it like this. My birthday is in November. It was cold and the windows were fogged. Like it was like the condensation, like it was that many people up in there. It was a problem. It was legendary. I was like, oh man, I wasn't even really, I mean, I was trying, but I was like, I threw that on the wall and it stuck.
Quick aside, I had a similar experience with the party life, but it was in college. So I wanted to delineate. He was talking about high school. I'm talking about college with adults, young adults, but adults. And our most legendary party was Thong Thursday.
Thong Thursday.
Thong Thursday. You can avoid the entry fee. You can avoid the entry fee if you could prove different life. That was before. That was BK before Keisha.
Before you learned to channel the creative energy.
Yeah, man. All right, family. Welcome back to the Wealth Blueprint series where we have conversation at the intersection of family and finance. I'm one of your hosts, D. Johns.
Philip Washington Jr.
Today, we have another amazing guest because that's what this show is built on, amazing guests and amazing conversations. Robbie Thompson, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank y'all for having me. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for being on, man. We know this is going to be value added and we want to be mindful of your time, so we'll get right to it. For those that don't know you, which some of our audience has been under a rock for some time, they might not know who you are. How do you present yourself to others so they can understand exactly or get a sense of who you are?
A little bit, Robbie Thompson, engineer, went to school for it, licensed, and kind of upper executive management at in the architectural engineering construction fields at a small business.
Awesome. So let's get into your origin story. Where you're from, family dynamics, who was in the house, how did you see life at a young age?
All right. Originally from San Antonio, born and raised, and mom and dad were there in the house, and that was their relationship probably could have been maybe a little bit better. But they ended up getting divorced. That's kind of typical, you know. But dad was there. He showed me, you know, sports, kind of did teach me, you know, lessons of being a man. However, he wasn't necessarily there all the time. It's kind of like after I got to a level of, well, kind of middle school sports and he's no longer, you know, the coach, you know, that was pretty much that. But mom was always there. And she's phenomenal. Carol Thompson, over 40 years of teaching, multiple years of receiving Teacher of the Year awards. I mean, to the point where she was trying to turn it down because she's like, I still got to work with these people. Come on now, slow it down.
What does she teach?
She taught elementary, and she was kind of first, second grade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think just first and second, but it's kind of when I was in first, she was in first. I went to second. She went to second. Oh, mommy coming me to third. What's up? But no, she just stayed there. And what was really interesting on that aspect of it was second grade teachers. They are probably one of your better teachers because first, you know, pre-K, you're just there. That's just fun. First grade is kind of like where the rubber starts to meet the road. And then you kind of get second grade. It's like you have some of those students that probably shouldn't make it to second, but you're not going to film as first grade.
Right.
You don't even have grades in first grade nowadays.
Correct.
Yeah.
So then you send them to your best teachers, miracle worker. I mean, she had students that could not read, and got them at the end of the year, man, they were reading, and just built long life relationships with them. So Carol Tom's a phenomenal woman. I can go on for days with it. But
I kind of want to stay there for a second, because that's an interesting perspective. I have 5 children. My youngest is in third. I have third, fifth, junior, senior, and one that's in college. But you're right, second grade is kind of a pivotal point in life at that age. How did that translate into the house? Like, what principles do you recall of the teacher aspect at home that kind of shaped who you are?
Shoot. Yeah. Mom was all work. All work. Again, as a teacher, you're there teaching all day. And, going through the lesson plan, executing that. And then you go home to still continue to work, grading the grades, creating the lessons plans, all that stuff. So I would come home every day, and what I did see every day was her hard work. She would come in, there was no TV. She'd come in, knock out her work on that table. So that rolled on to me. When I was going through my education, I'd come home, have homework. I would sit down at the table, knock it out, and then I could turn on TV and watch TV just for her to get home. It's good and bad. It was good for that reason. Bad is, would have loved to probably have maybe, better work-life balance.
Got it.
But, she was, again, phenomenal teacher, phenomenal woman. Matter of fact, teaching runs in the blood. Her mom was a teacher, was one of the first Black teachers at an integrated white school in North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so strong lineage of teaching. My first cousin, she's a teacher as well. Matter of fact, I wanted to be a teacher. I was like, yeah, Mom, I think I want to just teach history. I like teach. She was like, no, you don't. You can't be a teacher. And I was like, well, why not? She's like, don't make enough money. And I was like, okay, Mama. All right.
All right. She knew exactly what to say, right?
I was like, well, his mom's telling me. I was like, okay. She's like, you think you want it, but you don't.
Was that based on what she saw of your personality and aspirations, or was that just her commentary from her experience, the not making enough part of it? Because there's something to it teaching 40 years. She didn't find out at year 38 that it doesn't make a lot of money. So
I think so too. I think a mixture of both.
Okay.
Definitely from her experience. And she wanted me to, again, I had a lemonade stand. You could already see the art, the entrepreneurship that was in me, be able to create relationships with friends, teammates. And, we're in elementary, just school and, youth league and stuff or whatnot. So she was kind of like, nah, I want to see you try something else first. I'll tell you not to, but nah, not right now.
And I roll in there too. So, because I know a little bit of your backstory. So you were, like you mentioned, entrepreneurial. You at a earlier age than most started, with some entrepreneurial talents, which I look at as it's all the same. Like the reason why Jay-Z is killing the game in business is like selling drugs is like selling tickets, selling drugs, selling concerts, promotions. Like a lot of my business comes from like college, doing step shows and parties. You know what I'm saying? It's the same mechanism.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to create a product, market and distribute it.
Correct.
And so you were early on in high school doing that. So give a little bit of background about that and what you learned from that and how you apply it to business today, if at all.
I did learn about an idea that you kind of do your research and development of something, see where the opportunity is, and then kind of just think about, okay, how can I all the way execute it? get all the way from A to Z, like score the touchdown. Don't get in field goal range, not the red zone. Score, get in the end zone. And all that is a lot of is just execution. And yeah, going back to college days, we had a group called the Stallions, and we would throw
Let's
parties.
pause. Let's make sure we get that clear. Called the what?
Called the Stallions.
The Stallions. So y'all were before. Are y'all familiar with the two young brothers, the Stallionaires?
Yes.
Okay.
You talking about the reality show.
Reality show.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Connection?
Yeah. No, but
That's not from y'all tree?
No, we were there before.
Okay.
We were there before. But yeah, man, we essentially it was my idea. Just looking at it, there was Columbus Day at the time. I just graduated. Matter of fact, I threw a birthday party at my partner's house that I was like,
Legendary.
Was it?
I saw you reaching for the words.
Bro. Oh man. I had no idea. Again, my partner lived with his older sister and his sister, and they had their house. So they were kind of, young adult, like household led. And they were like, yeah, you want to do a party? I was like, cool, no problem. I was like, man, for real? Awesome, let's get it. So then I was like, yeah, I'll put out a little bit of a flyer. Man, in high school, man, that thing, I'll put it like this. My birthday is in November. It was cold and the windows were fogged. Like it was like the condens, like it was that many people up in there. It was a problem. It was legendary. I was like, oh man, I wasn't even really, I was trying, but I was like, I threw that on the wall and it stuck.
Yeah.
I was like, we got to explore this. So that's what kind of prompted the idea. I was like, you could probably do that again and still kind of chase that cloud of still being in high school, just graduating, and get a club that's closed on Sunday, rent it out to youth for them to enjoy the time. They closed at like noon, and man, it was successful.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's kind of it. Kind of took off from there.
Yeah. Quick aside, I had a similar experience with the party life, but it was in college. So I wanted to delineate. He was talking about high school. I'm talking about college with adults, young adults, but adults. And our most legendary party was Thong Thursday.
Thong Thursday.
Thong Thursday. You can avoid the entry fee. You can avoid the entry fee if you could prove different life. That was before. That was BK before Keisha.
Before you learned to channel the creative energy.
Yeah, man. It was appropriate. It was appropriate at the time, but just somewhat of a joke. But being able to see the business and opportunity, I learned very quickly. For me, I didn't really care for the club. So if I was going, it was either research or I was throwing a party. Mm-hmm. Like you weren't going to get $100 out of me in a night, 2 nights out of the weekend just to say that I was at the club. We'd be in the parking lot waiting for the let out.
Yeah, you smart.
Yeah, but it's something. It was that's probably my first lesson that stuck in terms of consumer, provider, like which side I wanted to play on.
You know what? I want to ask, and both of y'all can chime in on it, but how much, so I look at business 2 ways, and I feel like we all have it. You have the nerd side of business, right? I call it the mind. And then you have the heart, which is like the heart is the attractor. And I find the best business people have a similar, because you can do both, right? Like if I put you in a room with engineers and architects, like you're one of the smartest ones in the room, but you also can like talk to people.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? And that balance, I mean, how important is that to you in business? And
it's crucial, especially in a technical field. I'll put it like this, man. The architects, engineers, and construction people with the personality, they rise to the top because everybody's technical. Everybody can do the work, but who can actually go out there and create the relationships needed to bring in the business? And matter of fact, at the company I'm at, I didn't realize how important that was. It kind of, my boss saw it in me and kind of was like, hey, because if it was up to me, I was still going to be out there on the projects, out there working it, learning Spanish with Chilo. Say, hey man, how you say that, man? You know, just you know, and I had a blast. Because that was the technical mindset of it. The reality of it is, if you're gifted like that, because it's a gift, because not everybody has that, you need to be placed at where your gift can shine. And that's essentially what has happened. I mean, again, especially in the technical industry, you got a little bit of personality, be personable, create relationships, you'll rise to the top.
Yeah, I was a AutoCAD drafter and designer for about 5 years through college. Kind of
nice.
I chose the the more difficult path in college, where I ended up having to work full time, go to school full time, and I was good at it, but I wasn't necessarily passionate at it. But the cool thing was that the principles resonated throughout my career. Like each thing led to another thing that led to another thing that made sense of my entire career. What do you love most about your industry? Like, what keeps you in that industry?
What keeps me in the industry? Job security. You look all over Dallas, Fort Worth area, metro. Construction everywhere. It ain't stopping. People keep moving and coming in to the industry. I mean, in the line of work that I'm in, I mean, Dallas, Fort Worth, this whole metro has to be probably, if not top 5, definitely top 3 areas to be in our industry with it. So there's that aspect of it. I'll go back to what you were talking about with the CAD. I was doing design engineering.
Okay.
I did that for the first 5 years of my career. And I had to look myself in the mirror and say, could I do 35 molds?
Right.
Can I?
Right.
And I could not say yes. I couldn't say yes. And I was like, man, you know what? I think I want to just go out in the field, work as like go work with a contractor out there in the field. That actually took the mindset of the sports. Played basketball, football, ran track, and did the relays within track, that teamwork together, because you're out there on the job site and, you're having to work with the owner, the designer, the builder, maybe even the owner's rep. There's all these different people. You got to pull everybody together to make a successful project. And guess what? Everybody has different interests.
This is true.
The designer, he designed it as most efficiently as possible to make it adequately constructible. Because you know what? If he gave you perfect plans, he would have ran over budget and be going out of business. He can't give you perfect plans.
Typical designer, right?
Contractor, he's over there, he's just licking his chops.
Scope creep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's over there like, oh, they missed that, they missed this. Oh, we gonna hold that till we get in construction. Yeah. So, correct. The poor owner's just like, man, I just want a successful project, man. Come on, guys. And for me, my industry kind of been gravitating more in the owner's rep spot. We got to take all of those different interests and align them with the owner for a successful project.
Yeah.
So when I hear the contractor talking about, oh, well, they ain't gonna work, we can't do that. You can or you don't want to. That's okay, if we can get it, how would it work? How would it work? Like, let's work at this as a team. And I enjoyed that. Like, it's the problem solving, it's working the team. I got to build that relationship with you. Let's go to lunch. Let's have a beer afterwards. We gotta have this project because, if bad one, we all go down with the ship. Everybody, we all go down with the ship. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things.
Yeah, you sound like you're like the nucleus that, you're like the sun that holds everything in orbit so that there can be life on planet Earth.
I like that.
What is the wealth play in your industry? I think I have an idea. Most people will suggest that millionaires, billionaires either started their wealth building through property ownership wealth, or whether it's residential or commercial. Through your lens, what wealth opportunities do you see in your industry?
Within the industry, Wealth opportunity, there's a lot. And a lot of that kind of deals with essentially the game of my industry is a certain percentage of tax dollars have to go to women-owned, minority-owned, disenfranchised businesses. So that opportunity there is there for someone to start their own business, create it, and learn a skill and trade before you start your own, and building, go after some of those contracts. So the opportunity is tremendous. And matter of fact, I have spoke with the Regional Black Contractors Association, RBCA, about talking to, second chance, people coming back.
Yeah.
And so just talking to them, because they're first there to try and learn about OSHA.
Yeah.
To get that, because that's one of the things you need in construction. Because again, once you get that mark on your back, it's an endless cycle. Oh, you got that felony. Now we can't hire you. There's only certain industries you can go into. And right now, what is severely underutilized that we should definitely maximize, especially with the amount of us in jails, is the construction route.
Wow.
To learn that skill and or trade, to get out there, granted, depending on the type of offense, you might not be working in a school, but you could be working out there on a highway, learning form work, craft work, even electrical work, the lightings for it. There's electrical work in there, people making, $50 an hour. I mean, again, when you're starting to now work for yourself as an electrician and or plumber, I call you because I got that need. I need the need. And you can solve the problem for me, whether it takes you 30 minutes or hour and a half. Yeah. The price is the price.
Yeah.
And you charge me $250, you was here for only
project,
30 minutes. I mean, again, there's so many avenues you can first get on with the company to learn it, grow it, nurture, get the certifications you need, branch off, start doing the work for yourself, and work how you want to work. But again, when you break it down in terms like that, I mean, shoot, $250, 30 minutes worth of work, that's $500 an hour.
Yeah.
And those are back to back to back lined up. So there's such a huge play that I say we, because I'm in the industry, architecture and engineering, but it's more so in construction. There's such a huge play of construction. A lot of it needs rebranding. It's just not sexy. You talk to kids, what do your kids want to do when they grow up? What do your kids want to do? It ain't construction. It's kind of frowned upon. It's looked down upon. Meanwhile, cost of construction keeps going up. The salaries keep going up. Wages keep going up because nobody wants to do it. Everybody wants to go into IT.
Supply and demand,
work from home, all types of, it's there. And especially with opportunity for an untapped market, there's a shortage of architecture, engineering, people in construction. There's a shortage.
Wow.
I mean, the way this is being done and developed in DFW area, it's like the supply, the labor supply is what it is. You're like literally stealing from the next man that just finished their project. You might have something lined up, but yours is ready. So I got to offer you more because I need you. Wow. I got to get this off the ground.
I assumed it would be different.
No, and again, with second chance offenders like coming back to get
society.
Man, that is such an untapped market that can help close that gap.
So do you know the connection I'm making in my mind? So Sean Surface, Second Chance Mentor, Second Chance is his brand, right? And he's a local person that, paid his debts to society and is focused on preventing young boys from going down that path. We just had another conversation with a brother on another podcast, and I think it's going to be the start of a series called More Than a Felon, right? And it was about returning to society, what that's like, building a name, getting the stench off of you from other people's perspective, man. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Last point I make, I'm not trying to hold.
No, go ahead.
When I asked you about wealth, I'm glad you gave a very practical response. Now, oh man, go get you a credit card and borrow against that, go buy a building, flip the building.
Real.
I think there's a time and place And that wasn't advice, guys. My humor
that's
is
that
super,
social media on your feed, like, yo, yes.
my humor is super dry. So however you clip that up, that was not advice.
I was giggling my ass off.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
But I think it's very important that we not miss the opportunity. Like I wasn't even aware, and I thought I was pretty aware of what was going on, but how to position yourself, right? And not even specifically for those that are returning to society that have, I guess, done the work on themselves to be, what do they call it? Positive contributors, meaningful contributors to society. You are a resource in my mind right now for that.
Absolutely.
I would be tap into that.
Yes, I'm passionate about it.
Dope,
I would definitely love to be a resource on that because it's just not known. And actually it's going to take us to save us.
Yeah.
So
that's an episode.
I am,
and that's like life changing money because when you're talking about the amount of money they can, I think everybody thinks about making $1 million a year, and you can make $1 million a year, but before you make $1 million, you can make 250.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
50.
Correct.
You can make 50.
Yeah.
You can make 150. Then you can.
Absolutely. And I think it just needs more awareness. The second chance people trying to get acclimated. I think if there was just more awareness of it, and actually like a media, a series like you're talking about it, to hear other successful second chance people with felonies and look at their businesses that they've created. Part of that too is, you might have the felony, but it doesn't say that you can't be part of the business. Yeah, you might not be able to go in there, but you know it, you'll understand it, so you can hire the people that can, instead of just thinking, that's it. Oh man, I guess I'll go back to the streets. And a lot of it is just exposure. It's awareness.
100%.
You know what you know and don't know what you don't know. And we need to do a better job as a community of getting that message out.
And I want to roll into, because rolls into that, because I think it would be a natural I know you, the audience doesn't, but you also invest in real estate, which is natural given like what you do, right? I mean, your level of understanding of like what's coming, what's happening, right? If you don't mind, speak more on like real estate as a wealth building tool, and like your thoughts on real estate for building wealth, for our community, and then what you see specifically in DFW over the next decade or so.
All right.
I know that's a lot.
That is a lot. I'm trying to make sure I capture all the pieces, but absolutely real estate is a huge piece of my, wealth generation and building. I do have 5 properties, 7 doors. With it, I would love to do more, but I'm still trying to pay. I only got so much liquid, and trying to grow it and expand it. But it definitely needs to be a piece that I recommend in everybody's portfolio, and especially now you also mentioned locally here, prices are just going up and insane. So the work around that is you now need to start looking at areas that still provide a substantial like workforce. There's still a need. People aren't just moving out, but it's going to be your smaller towns. I'm not going to say too rural. I mean, but it all depends, just do your due diligence on it. But those are the places where the real estate is actually affordable. The rents will be accordingly, so you just got to make sure you buy it right. But those are now kind of the plays you have to make in real estate, especially if you're trying to come in, because now, I mean, prices of real estate have just gone so up. I'm kind of thinking about what is the starter home price range when my daughter gets of age.
Right. Wow.
That is probably going to be $600,000-$700,000.
Right.
When she gets of age.
Right.
Because starter homes now, I mean, it used to be, 2s, 3s. 4s, 5s. I mean, I might be even lowballing it.
It'll be priced in Bitcoin by then. It'll be a quarter of a Bitcoin.
There you go. There you go. There you go. But yeah, it's going to be a luxury and a privilege to even own real estate, because I think eventually the system wants it. You will own nothing, you'll rent everything, and you'll be happy.
I think this is a good place to take a break here from our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Why do Pokemon cards, why does the dollar have value? Why does a certain area of town have value, right? It's all beliefs. And as beliefs and preferences change, so does the values that back the things that we give that power to, right? I call faith power, right? Faith, power, wealth is all the same energy. As the preferences changes, so does where we place our value. This episode is sponsored by the Wealth Building Made Simple podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and every other major podcasting platform.
All right, we're back with the one Robbie Thompson. Thank you for your contribution thus far. I know it's about to pick up in the second half of this conversation. I want to connect the dots between a couple of things you said. You mentioned that you were an athlete, basketball, football, track, and you were talking about being aware of how the world will be when your daughter is of an age where she's looking to make moves in the world. So in terms of passing the baton, you see what I did there? Passing the baton to your daughter, like what kind of things, what kind of conversations are important to you in terms of ensuring that she has a grasp on wealth development, wealth management?
My daughter, she's 6. She's seen the properties because she's had to go with me. She probably is there, so I can start pushing that envelope a little bit more. But that's something I do need to work on. But I would say from a standpoint of just passing it, the baton down, is with, again, the properties that I do have. I'm going to try to encourage her not to sell. I mean, granted, it's going to be worth a lot, but that's something that could get passed down because the costs are only going to go up. It keeps going up. I'm telling you, there's a shortage of labor, shortage of everything when it comes to construction. Nobody wants to do construction. So that's going to be one aspect of it. But right now, my main focus for that wealth building is her problem solving and leadership skills right now. My daughter is an angel and she's excellent at both of those. She will, once I kind of show her and she grasps the concept, she'll start to do it without me even asking. My daughter makes her lunch in the mornings. As she gets up, brushes her teeth, puts on deodorant. Sometimes I go, yo, did you put on deodorant? Right. Oh my gosh. I'm like, man, how are you supposed to fool somebody like that? Man, all the boys, you don't want to be that girl to be like,
get a little stinky girl.
Yeah, I'm looking out for you. Like, put on that deodorant. But, she'll do all that, get her snack, fill up her water. She is a little, and that's that discipline, that regimen. And I try to give, it's coming. Right now, we're just building the foundation to be able to grasp those concepts. And sometimes I kind of tell, or other parents with similar age, daughters, they'll see mine, they're just totally impressed. Like, man, what am I doing different? I'm like, well, I'm dad. I'm parenting like she a nigga. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, hey, yo, man, you left your snack? All right, let me laugh first and last time you need your snack now. Don't call me. Yep. She gets it.
She understands.
So we're going about it that way.
Yeah. I think that balance is super important for like our generation where we get to grow up in the privilege of what our parents taught us, which allows us to have a different level of privilege that we raise our kids up in, but maintaining the I don't like the word hard lessons, but you know what I'm saying? Like the accountability might be a better way to say it.
You gotta allow, sometimes there's a healthy balance. You gotta find a balance, but you gotta allow sometimes failure. If I'm always there to save you, how are you gonna grow and get it on your own? I got 18 summers with you that I gotta get that through, where I develop you to be a successful leader, be able to get out there on your own and be a productive member in society. But beyond that, a wonderful wife to somebody and excellent mother to somebody. That I got 18 years to try and do that. It's not going to happen all in 18, but that is my time. That's it. After that, it's extra work, because after that, she kind of somewhat, I'm your advisor at that point. You know, maybe not through college she's going there, but you know, the relationship changes, and I do not want to be that parent that is still like all the way parenting and like, oh, you can't, like, why you do it like that? Like, no, like, you know, I those years are now in 18, and so just trying to get those lessons learned so she can go out there and kick ass.
So the one interesting aspect of that is like the same 18 years we have, our parents had, but the competition for our children's attention is much greater than it was with us, right? And I was having a conversation with somebody and it hit me like, if my parents said I can't leave the house, I am limited to the information that's in the house.
That's true.
I wasn't pulling out anything and going anywhere virtually or figuring out what somebody else thinks. And that was a real limitation. Now our children can be anywhere in the world in terms of access.
Yes.
Right? And we're out here building, trying to create wealth and trying to secure their future. All the while, there are spaces of time where we can't oversee them. Like what concerns or challenges do you have as a parent navigating these next 12 summers?
12 summers.
Yeah. It's right. When
That's
you crazy. I mean, it's a third gone.
And it goes blink twice.
Exactly. A third is already out the way. And blink is we have.
Yeah.
Man, just my relationship with my daughter. To be able to be there, not be too overbearing, explain this is the reason why, what I'm thinking, because there's access to information, even when it's Friday night, long work week, finished, picked her up from school, ordered pizza, and you know, I fall asleep on a movie that we're watching and it's rated, you know, it's The Family on Netflix.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, you know, I'll wake up, she'll be up, and then we'll both go to bed. But then the next day she'll tell me like, yeah, the next movie that came out, I don't know if that was so appropriate for me to watch it. I'm like, well, why'd you watch it then? but that goes to the point. It's there, but that's also my relationship with. I'm not gonna. It's like, well, I'm glad you saw that, and you know what? Now we don't need to watch it. Matter of fact, yeah, I found that on when we did watch. I was like, man, what? I was like, oh nah, not this. But she'd already seen it. And I was like, great job, Dad.
Yeah, but it's a testament to the relationship and your parenting that she told you.
Correct.
You know?
I'm not gonna be like, oh, you can just like,
Yeah.
thank you for telling me. That's, you know, I mean, again, I guess I got to go through all the Netflix movies and watch them before she watched them. That ain't life.
That's not even reasonable.
That's not life. But I'm just happy of her moral compass. You know, the principles that me and my co-parent are instilling with her, you know, mom.
Yeah. What do you think is the mechanism that allows her to, you know, like express life in a responsible way when you're not around?
I do think part of that is the child. I think part of that is her. I do think I have some influence. Me and her mom do have influence on that, but I think a lot of it is the child because every child's different. I only have one, and you don't know, you don't get the opportunity. What you get is what you got. And part of that is kind of like, man, she is blessed. She is an angel. I'm blessed. Anything else, another child less than her, it's going to be, it's a downgrade. Because she's I'm like, man, I don't even know if I want that pressure on the second one, man.
It's gonna be tough. End on top.
Man,
it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, exactly. Especially the horror stories of that middle child, that second child. You'd be like, man, who are you? What is this?
Yeah. So when you have 5 and you start saying things like 40% of my children, 60% of my children, and it's mathematically, it actually makes sense. Like number 1 and number 2 weren't similar. Number 1 and 3 weren't, but like 1 and 4 are.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not like this blueprint was, we got it. We'll just tweak these. It's like, no, they're algorithms and they change daily.
And I'm part of it scared because that would challenge me and my parenting. I've been blessed. Like my parenting has been with a great child. Blessed. Like so something else different. I'm like, okay, that would require me to grow. You know,
that's a blessing too. I know my second child has grown me. Like I'm talking in a good way because both of mine are angels. But like what you said, like he forces me to bring something out of myself,
correct,
that I wouldn't have done without him.
Yep,
correct,
100%. So we talked about what your intentions are, what your concerns are in passing that baton. What was passed to you? In terms of wealth principles, what money means, what wealth means.
Passed down, I would say, in the terms of wealth.
Yeah, like even just your understanding, not necessarily trust fund baby.
Yeah, not necessarily monetarily. I think we just told the wealth of hard work and leadership. That was the wealth that was passed down. The discipline, again, we can work our 9 to 5, but after that, after we clock out, fight the traffic, get home, you can turn it off. But I had to go there, see my mom, turn it right back on for a few hours afterwards, and cook and clean, do the dishes. So just seeing that every day, that's all I know. So Sienna, she's my daughter, she's seeing that of me, you know, she's like, man, you're always working. It's like, yes, we do find good balance on the weekends. That's what they're for. And we do hang out, have a blast. But she sees me working. And I think that is something that got passed down to me that she will receive as well, to get passed down to her. And it's, especially with sports and everything else that she is in, combined with that, the competition, the discipline, the hard work, it starts to gel and it starts to click, and you can apply that towards business and wealth generation. It's a problem.
This is a hot topic, and so I've been trying to think of a way to ask it in a way that is not going to be offensive, but I think people who have consumed me on media understand my heart is pure, right? And I don't care about people's opinions because people are going to take you based on like their emotional state.
Correct. So that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
So my emotional state is pure in this question, but like we're living in a time where, men, right? We have privilege, right? Because like the older we get to the world, especially if we're focused, the more opportunities we have for love or to attract.
That's true.
Multiple
Our value goes up.
Yeah. But now you have women who are the more intelligent natural species because they balance emotion and thought relatively well. We have to grow into our emotions. And so they're coming out like killing it, and so you're raising a like, I have no doubt Sienna's gonna have tons of money. Like, she's gonna be super successful. She's not like, the money that you leave her is gonna be gravy for the grandkids. Like, she's gonna be good because because she doesn't have a choice. Like, she's your child.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So that presents her being in a situation where now her partner choices in the traditional sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, Beyonce can only marry Jay. Like, who else is Beyonce gonna marry? Who else on the planet?
Ask Tyler Perry. He had a different take on that.
Well, no, and that's the point I'm getting to. It's controversial because now you have you have, and that's why I like the Forrest deal, because I was like, you have my wife talk about it. I say, listen, Kelly, as a man, we've had to appreciate women for their contribution to the family, whether it's financial or not.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like part of being a man is like that, but then the other part about equality is, how do we raise women who are gonna be the breadwinner to like appreciate a man for what he brings if it's not equal to what she brings financially, right? I mean, have you thought about that? Like, what do you think about that?
That's a great question.
Wow. And I have 3 daughters.
I really more so haven't.
She's 6, so I wouldn't think you would.
But my biggest concern is not necessarily her being able to have. My concern isn't her. My concern is of the partner that she would choose and pick, because she is going to have a high standard. She is going to be emotionally intelligent. She is going to be watching your every move. She is going to be critical. She is going to call you out. It is more so, I guess, her navigating and picking the right partner, male, that can handle that and can grow to that. Because in this day and age, in this culture, especially as Black men, it's tough. It's not. The culture in the state is not for. It's just our culture. It's not necessarily that, hey, I'm saying I'll just speak for myself. I'll put it like that. I'll just speak for myself. I've had to do a lot of learning, and that's even that's with my girlfriend. Stuff that me at 42, that she's like, man, bro, why am I having to teach you this?
Yeah, I'm saying way here.
And it's like, are you serious? And I'm like, wait, what? It's just a totally different mindset and approach. And so it's really, I see the more of the challenge on the man aligning, because she's gonna be in line. She's gonna have
She's
it.
more balanced,
And more so, if anything, she might just be like, well, it's just trash out here. It's not necessarily trash. It's just a lot of bad habits in a culture that has grown up this way, that if you ain't have like your dad married to sit there, man, son, why you doing that? You can't, why you like that picture? Just stuff to help you navigate through that, like that OG. It's
I think you hit on the nail, because that's because my counterbalance to the guys that have a problem with women that think that way, and this is just my experience like yours, is I'm like, the standpoint is, from my perspective, women who are like that are naturally more balanced. And so men, I compartmentalize my emotions for a long time, which means I'm less balanced, than a woman that has equal willpower to me, which means, which means like, I gotta rebalance myself emotionally.
Correct.
And learn how to process like as a man, learn how to cover my woman, even when she's emotionally attacking me from just past trauma, right? You know, it's called love, but you know, I like the way you answered it because
and a lot of that too is even perception. We kind of were talking about this earlier, like if the eyes of the beholder perceives it differently, and especially if you've given them the opportunity to perceive it the way they're perceiving it, even though that's not your intent, that's shame on you.
Yeah.
And again, so
I like
God,
that.
God bless my girlfriend. She's
Man.
very patient.
So you walk right through the door that I was trying to figure out how to open. As I was stumbling a few moments ago, what is that process like to have achieved some level of success? And I don't know that you've peaked or you're anywhere near peaking, but to have some level of success, some level of wealth that you kind of want to protect. What is that process like opening up to someone in a relationship that may not think the same way, where you got to have those meetings of the minds where this is my perspective, this is your perspective, how do we, and you got children,
that's true,
intertwined and all of that. Like
especially when it's 40 something years in the making.
Yeah.
Right? Mine was 23 years in the making.
Yeah. So, man, yeah, I'm telling you, I'm a piece of work.
I guess what are some you mentioned some one thing about you needing to learn something at this stage that maybe she thought you should have learned, but like what are some of those self-aware things that have those aha moments that have popped up since? I'm
embarrassed to get y'all details.
And you haven't heard. You surely haven't heard my podcast because that's all it's dear son, what I wish my father told me, and the lessons that I've learned through experience versus conversation.
And share what you won't get in trouble with.
Nah,
for sure. And I control the edit. Yeah. There's a final.
No. I mean, I've already gotten in all the damn trouble, so this shit is
just trying to get it.
Yeah, congratulations. A mindset of what's appropriate, what's not. Yeah, that sounds simple and easy enough, but again, 42 years, like in the making of majority single, that again, the heart, the desire can be there, but again, if appropriate or not, it's the perception that I need to walk through my other halves. I need to walk through life with my other half's lens, not mine. I'm an only child too.
Ooh.
Exactly. Yeah. Shout out Tamara. Oh my God. Bless you. I love you.
We'll zoom in on that one.
For real, there is just there is a lot of, again, and I find myself reactively learning, which is not good leadership.
Completely get that.
It is not good leadership.
I'm sorry. I got a pen in your point, so we won't lose it.
No problem.
Are you a good leader at work? Is it easier for you to be, like, does it come more naturally, seemingly, for you to lead outside of your home? For me, yes. And I'm not putting you on the spot.
No,
but
yes. Relationship wise, I still am a great leader, but it is just been, just interactions with the opposite sex while having a girlfriend. I need to make her feel warm and fuzzy and trust that I'm not going to make her look like a fool. And it's not good enough to, well, shit, babe, I wasn't cheating, man. It's still in my pants.
Right. That's a very real thing.
That's not good enough. And that was the mindset that I had to, grow out of. And she's been, patient with me on. I looked at my IG when we first got together. That was my tool.
Right. Right. It's his resume.
I mean, you know, just, you know, go to the restroom, number 2. And, you know, again, just being single, like, oh, yeah, you should see the people I was following. I was, oh, yeah, yeah.
Right.
And so how can I ask this woman to allow me to lead her? And look what's on that does not give any type of, but I'm like, what, man, it's just Instagram. No, it's just this, it's just that. Those are like, they are excuses, but you don't know it's excuse if that's your mindset. Yeah. It's not good enough to just, it's in my pants. You're the only person I see. I'm not talking to nobody. I'm not texting nobody. I don't have plans. I don't have desire, baby. You're it. You're it for me. But it's not good enough. Yeah. And that's okay. Mm-hmm. Man, but that goes to your partner. That goes also to what you were talking about with Sienna. Sienna's going to have, my daughter, she's going to have it. I'm more so worried about, and I would love to be a resource to whatever partner she has I can help make her partner better for my daughter. And that's the way I'm looking. I'm like, man, I got all the lessons. I mean, all lessons learned, bro. I got it.
That's a really mature way to frame it, because I know a lot of my energy is mentally preparing to go to battle for her if somebody does her wrong. I have 3 daughters. But to put the energy and investment into it going right by investing in the person that she chooses, even at the moment, I'm 44. I've never thought about it like that.
Nah, this is years in the making. Yeah. Because I can speak on it, and this is kind of, I guess, my testimony. I mean, God gives you the same test over and over and over until you can freaking pass it. And based on that, I enjoy like groups of other like-minded men to be able to talk about struggles, you know, just Bible study where you just be authentic and real and grow and learn from each other. We don't really have that as men. I go to one community church and I really got a lot out of that with the men's Bible study. It's called Man Church, because that's essentially what it is, where I could sit out there and be as candid and open with y'all like this on stuff. Well, I screwed the pooch. Then, you know, some of them be like, yeah, or, you know, and it just be like, man. And it's just where I'm in the realization where it's just like, you know, to grow to be the man that my girlfriend and future wife needs me to be.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
That's a major success principle.
Yeah.
Oh, I say it all the time.
Growth.
Show me a successful man with a broken family. I'll wait, because I haven't seen one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I haven't seen one.
And that's where it's kind of like, man, what, I'm successful in all these other areas of my life, but what's happening on with this? And my point is, it's just opportunity for me to grow and be a student of it, and just continue to grow together.
That's the point of these conversations. Again, it's not to buy my course and you'll make $1 million. It's not that. Mm-hmm. Wealth principles, the intersection of finance and family. I firmly believe that you're not successful with a broken family. You've had successes. Mm-hmm. You've done some things well. Maybe you've been promoted. You made it, so you've amassed some money or amassed some finances. But when you look up, look to your left and you look to your right, and you've lost your family along the way, to me, you haven't arrived at success. Mm-hmm. So my plight has been, I lost focus. So I love these conversations because I don't want people to feel sorry. It's not a woe is me conversation to show. Mm-hmm. It's, I don't have to do that. Yeah. Because I missed a lot of conversations with my father, who was very present, but I didn't want the information. So I chose to go take the lesson. So life, you can learn lessons or you can take it.
Man.
Life is going to deliver it to you. And one is much more daunting than the other.
Correct.
So I'm glad that the conversation has taken this tone, and I hope the people get it, that the principles are holistic.
Yes.
Get your money, keep your family.
I mean, and one thing I always preach is everybody's wealthy because wealth is quality of life. So I don't see a distinction between inner harmony, you know what I'm saying? Which for those who value family means, family. So yeah, man, it's tough to have inner harmony if
that's true.
If your partner ain't.
That's true.
Yeah.
And part of that too is picking the right partner.
Big.
100%.
Man, some of that stuff you were talking about earlier, I mean, you got to figure that out during the dating process. You better.
Cool. Well, I think this is appropriate place to wrap this portion of the conversation, because I have a feeling you'll be back.
Absolutely.
in some capacity.
This is good. This is therapeutic. This is awesome.
That's the point.
Hey, man,
I'm having a blast.
We're not therapists. The conversations are to be therapeutic. How can people find you? I'm trying to tread lightly because we just had a social media conversation, but people that want more information on you, more your story, wait for part 2. I mean, that could be the answer.
Be like, don't find me right now. Wait for part 2.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because I'm not even out there like that.
Then that's a lesson in itself.
I'm not even. Don't at me. Don't nothing.
That's a lesson in itself. The
See me
information,
when you see me.
the information will not be below. Will not be below. I definitely appreciate the conversation. This is our first time meeting. I feel like we accomplished 3 or 4 years.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
of familiarity in this conversation. Again, these conversations are intended to be from a perspective of the intersection of family and finance. Like I've said many times on other platforms, don't trade your family for money. It never works out. So that's all I got. What you got, my brother?
No, man, no good, man. Thanks for coming through, Robbie. Appreciate you.
Yes, man. Thank y'all. This is a pleasure, and this is fun. Glad.
Dope.
Glad. We'll definitely do something together in the future, especially on and offline.
Yeah,
for sure.
We appreciate you guys. God bless you. Peace.